Imagine you're watching a stage in 2013. A Tesla Model S rolls into a futuristic bay. Suddenly, an automated platform spins. Bolts fly. The entire floor of the car just drops out. 90 seconds, that's all it takes. A fresh, fully charged battery slides right in. It's done faster than a man at a gas pump right next to it. The message was electric. The long, inconvenient charging stop, it wasn't just solved, it was obliterated. The 3-minute refuel was here. The gasoline era was over. Or was it? Fast forward to today. Now, try to find that 3-minute swap. You can't. It's gone. A ghost. A fascinating footnote in a history book. That one demo station at Harris Ranch, it saw almost zero use. It collected dust, and then it was quietly shuttered. Tesla's revolutionary idea just vanished, replaced by the reality you see everywhere, the Supercharger. This is the network that actually won, but it's a different promise, a slower promise. You pull in, you plug in, and you wait 15, 20, maybe 25 minutes. But here's what you need to understand. This pivot wasn't a failure. It was a choice, a strategic move that built an absolute empire. And if you want to see just how deep this rabbit hole goes, make sure you're subscribed to Dravexa right now. Because this pivot reveals a much darker, far more complex truth about our electric future. The real cost of powering your car, it isn't just the price you pay at the plug. This is a multi-trillion-dollar war, a battle of competing ideas, a fight measured in battery chemistry, in your time, and in the fundamental stability of our entire power grid. Today, we are deconstructing the true, hidden costs of the charging model that dominates the world. We'll show you the staggering investment behind the Supercharger network. We'll explore the hidden chemical price your battery pays every single time you fast charge. And we'll investigate the logistical nightmare that truly killed Tesla's 3-minute dream. Because here's the kicker. The dream isn't dead. A rival company is already doing it at scale. And it proves the swap station dream was never impossible. It was just impossibly expensive in a whole different way. The battle for the future of the gas station is on, and the winner is just a matter of which compromise you're willing to accept. Stick with Dravexa and hit that like button because we're starting right now. So, Tesla killed the swap, and it bet its entire future on an alternative. It would build its own network, a global network, a proprietary, seamless, fast-charging empire. Today, you know it as the Supercharger. And it is, arguably, Tesla's single greatest weapon, a deep, wide moat that competitors are only now beginning to cross. But this dominance was built on a mountain of hidden costs. Costs paid by the company, costs paid by the grid, and costs paid every single day by you. You pull up to a Supercharger, what do you see? A sleek, futuristic gas pump. But what you don't see is a multi-million-dollar iceberg buried right beneath your feet. That visible charging stall, that's the cheap part. The real expense is hidden in utility closets and buried in concrete. A single 250-kilowatt stall can cost over $100,000 to install. An 8-stall station? You're looking at $1 million investment before the first car even plugs in. And here's why. An 8-stall station can pull over 2 megawatts of power at the same time. That's the instantaneous demand of over 1,500 homes. You can't just plug that into the local grid. You need massive, industrial-grade switchgear. You need giant, pad-mounted transformers. But even that isn't the real secret. The hidden killer of charging economics is something called demand charges. See, your utility company doesn't just bill you for the amount of energy you use. They bill you for the peak amount of power you demand at any one time. A station might sit idle at 3 a.m., but at 5 p.m. on a holiday, it's pulling everything. Those spikes are a nightmare for the grid. And those demand charges can account for over 70% of the station's total electric bill, a cost that is passed directly to you. To fight this, Tesla has to install even more hardware, giant battery systems like the Megapack. These batteries trickle charge from the grid when power is cheap and then discharge that power into your car when demand is high. It shaves the peak, but it adds another layer of six-figure cost. For years, Tesla fronted these astronomical sums. They ran the network as a loss leader just to sell cars. Only now that the network is massive and millions of cars are using it, is it finally starting to look like a profitable business. So what does this million-dollar infrastructure really cost you? Well, you pay for it in three distinct ways. First, the obvious one, the price at the plug. You'll pay anywhere from 25 to 60 cents per kilowatt hour. That 10 to 80% charge, it's about 26 bucks. It's more expensive than your garage, but it's cheaper than gas. You are paying a premium purely for speed. Second, you pay with your time. That 15 to 25-minute stop is a marvel of engineering, but it's still 8 times longer than pumping gas. And 15 minutes? That's the best case scenario. That's a warm, preconditioned battery at a low state of charge. If your battery is cold, if you're sharing power with the car next to you, that 15 minutes can easily stretch to 30 or 40. And don't you dare stay plugged in. Tesla charges idle fees, a penalty by the minute for just occupying the spot. But there's a third cost, a hidden cost, an insidious one that most owners never think about until it's too late. You are paying with the health of your battery. And if this is the only part of this video you watch, please hit that like button and pay attention to this. A lithium-ion battery is a delicate chemical system. DC fast charging is a brutal process. You are forcing over 600 amps of current into that system. This generates immense heat. It causes physical stress on the battery's internal parts. Do this over and over and over, and you are accelerating the irreversible decay of that battery. The science is clear. A battery charged slowly at home will have a measurably longer, healthier life than one that is supercharged every single day. This is a cost you don't pay today. You pay it in 5 years. You pay it in lost range. You pay it with a replacement bill that can be anywhere from $13,000 to $20,000. For a decade, this network was Tesla's walled garden. That special NACS plug meant only Teslas could use it. It was their ultimate sales pitch, their exclusive club. But this strategy fragmented the entire industry. Until 2023, when Tesla, in a brilliant reversal, did the unthinkable. It opened the standard. It struck deals with Ford, with GM, with Rivian, with everyone. And in one move, Tesla transformed its single greatest expense into its next great revenue stream. The cost of building this dominant network? It's now being paid for by its direct competitors. Tesla successfully turned its moat into a toll booth that will solidify its dominance for the next decade. It's a brilliant strategy, but what about the 3-minute dream? Well, while Tesla was building its toll booth, a competitor was actually building the swap station. We'll show you who right after you subscribe to Dravexa. That 2013 demo, it was a masterful piece of theater, a magic trick. But behind the curtain, the program was dead on arrival. It wasn't a failure of engineering. It was a failure of reality, a lethal combination of bad math, logistical nightmares, and a direct conflict with Tesla's real mission. First, the math. The 90-second stage demo was a fantasy. The real-world pilot program, it was a commercial disaster. The very few people who actually used it hated it. They reported it wasn't automated, it took closer to 7 minutes, and you had to make an appointment like you're going to the dentist. But here's the killer: the price. Tesla announced the swap would cost between $60 and $80. One swap, the same price as a full tank of gas. This created a fatal choice. At the exact same time, Tesla's Supercharger network was not just growing, it was famously free for all Model S and X owners. So let's think. You're a driver. Option A, pay $80 for a clunky 7-minute swap you had to book in advance, or option B, pull up, plug in, grab a coffee, and get a 100% free charge in 30 minutes. The market didn't just speak, it screamed. Customers voted with their time. They overwhelmingly preferred a free wait over an expensive rush. The market rendered its verdict, and Tesla listened. But the price was only half the problem. The real nightmare was the logistics. You think a supercharger station is expensive? That's just electrical hardware. A swap station needs all of that, plus a multi-million-dollar inventory of the single most expensive part of the car. Just do the math. A single Tesla battery pack costs between $13,000 and $20,000. To be useful, one station needs to hold an inventory of, say, 20 packs, just to service peak demand. That is an extra $400,000 in floating capital, tied up in one station, just sitting on a rack. That inventory has to be charged, it has to be serviced, it has to be climate controlled. And it created a brand new anxiety: battery swap anxiety. Drivers started to worry. Am I swapping my new, healthy, gently used battery for an old, degraded, high-mileage pack? Am I destroying my car's resale value? The complexity was staggering. The demand was zero. But the final nail in the coffin, the real reason the 3-minute dream died, was a conflict with Tesla's own genius. This is the most critical part, so if you're enjoying this deep dive with Dravexa, hit that subscribe button. A swappable battery must be designed like a cartridge, simple, removable. That requirement puts massive constraints on how you design the car. And Tesla's entire philosophy was sprinting in the exact opposite direction. To build lighter, safer, and cheaper cars, Tesla pioneered the structural battery pack. In this design, the battery is not a separate part you just bolt in. The battery is the floor. The cells, the casing, the modules, they are all one integrated piece of the car's core structure. It's what gives the car its rigidity. It's what protects you in a crash. It was a revolutionary breakthrough in manufacturing, and it made battery swapping an engineering impossibility. You can't swap a structural pack any more than you can swap your car's engine at a gas station. Tesla was at a crossroads. Choice 1, compromise all future car designs just to save a niche, expensive, and deeply unpopular swap feature. Or, choice 2, abandon swapping to pursue a revolutionary design that would make every car they built cheaper, safer, and better. They made the right call. They chose to build a better car, not a faster refueling station. And in doing so, they killed the 3-minute myth forever. What Tesla abandoned as a fantasy, a Chinese competitor named NIO embraced as its core identity. NIO didn't just build the swap network, it built its entire business around it. And in doing so, they solved the very problems that doomed Tesla from the start. While Tesla has one dead demo station, NIO has built over 3,200 power swap stations. And these are not demos. They are fully automated 24/7 robotic bays. You drive in, you park, and in 3 to 5 minutes, you drive out with a 100% charged battery. This is the 3-minute reality. During peak holidays in China, NIO's network has performed over 130,000 swaps in a single day. They proved the engineering wasn't just possible, it was scalable. But the real magic isn't the robotics, it's the business model. This is NIO's masterstroke. They looked at the economic flaws that killed Tesla's plan, and they simply inverted them. First, the high price. NIO solved it by separating the car from the battery. They call it Battery as a Service, or BaaS, and it's brilliant. You buy the car without the battery. This slashes the upfront sticker price. NIO's new Model Y competitor, the Onvo L60, you can buy it for just $21,000. You don't buy the battery, you subscribe to it. And that subscription eliminates the single biggest anxiety of EV ownership: battery degradation. That hidden chemical cost we talked about, the $20,000 replacement bill, for a NIO owner, it doesn't exist. If your battery gets old, if it gets degraded, who cares? You just drive in and swap it for a new one. It is the ultimate perpetual battery warranty, and it's a feature that Dravexa viewers should absolutely know about. But this model doesn't eliminate the astronomical costs. It just transfers them. It transfers them from you to the company. NIO is now the one carrying the multi-billion-dollar cost for that massive floating inventory of batteries. This makes NIO's entire business a high-stakes, high-volume gamble. The company has been famously unprofitable for years, pouring every dollar into building this network. But the math is finally starting to work. Analysts in 2025 project that NIO's swap business is on a path to break even by the end of 2026. The magic number? A station has to perform 60 to 70 swaps every single day to cover its costs. And in high-density cities like Shanghai, they're already hitting that number. But NIO's brilliant ecosystem creates the exact same walled garden that Tesla built. A NIO station only services NIO cars, and they've already hit the same trap. As NIO innovated, its newer, cheaper sub-brands are not compatible with its own existing stations. It's the same problem all over again. So, NIO is doing exactly what Tesla did. It's opening its platform. They've signed partnership deals with other massive automakers like Great Wall Motor and the world's largest battery maker, K-Tal. Their gamble? They believe they can become the global standard for swapping, turning their greatest expense into a shared, profitable, industry-wide utility. It's a fascinating battle. But there's one more cost, the biggest one of all, a cost that affects everyone: the grid itself. Stay with us. This battle isn't just about your time or your money. The ultimate hidden cost is the grid itself. This is a war for the stability of our entire electrical system, and the cost is paid by every citizen in grid failures or in the massive public expense of nationwide upgrades. First, you have Tesla's model, the spiky demand. This is the grid's worst nightmare. Imagine a supercharger station. It sits idle for hours. Then suddenly, a holiday rush, a dozen cars plug in and instantly try to pull 2 or 3 megawatts of power. That spike is the enemy. It overwhelms local transformers. It causes brownouts, voltage sags, and equipment failure. Utility companies are forced to spend millions of dollars on grid hardening for a single neighborhood just to service that one station. But it gets worse. To meet that peak demand, the utility has to fire up its most expensive, most inefficient, and dirtiest power plants, natural gas peaker plants. So when you're supercharging at 5 p.m. on a hot day, you're not just stressing the grid, You are likely running on the most carbon-intensive energy on the network. This is the demand charge we talked about, and you are paying for it. Now, look at NEO's model, the steady demand. This is the grid's best friend. A NEO power swap station solves this problem by its very nature. It has an inventory, 13, 20, 23 batteries. It doesn't need to charge them all right now. It can be smart. The logic is simple. Why charge at 5 p.m. when power is expensive and dirty? The station just waits. It charges its inventory at 3 a.m. when demand is low, when power is cheap, and when renewable energy like wind is abundant. It draws a steady, predictable load. It's easy for the grid to manage. But here is the real game changer. The NEO station isn't just a drain on the grid. It's a battery for the grid. It's a battery energy storage system that just happens to have car batteries inside. During a grid emergency, during a massive heat wave, the utility can actually pay the NEO station to sell power back from its 20 fully charged batteries. This is vehicle-to-grid, V2G. And in this model, the charging station transforms. It goes from being a massive problem into a valuable asset. It becomes a tiny, decentralized power plant that helps balance the grid. A hidden cost transformed into a profit center. The 3-minute charging myth born on that Tesla stage is dead. But the question it asked, how do we refuel an electric world, is more relevant than ever. And what we've learned here on Dravexa is that the real cost is a complex trade-off, a compromise between time, money, chemistry, and infrastructure. Tesla's model? It's a triumph of efficiency. It places the cost of time and the cost of battery degradation directly on you. In exchange, you get a cheaper, flexible, universal network. It was the right choice to sell 10 million cars. NEO's model? It's a triumph of convenience. It is the 3-minute myth, made real. It places the entire cost, billions in capital, squarely on the company. In return, you get a 3-minute stop and a perpetual battery warranty. And the grid gets a stable, intelligent partner. This binary choice, this one-on-one battle, is about to be shattered. The true disruptor is no longer a what-if. It's on the horizon. Solid-state batteries. We're seeing demonstrations right now of batteries that can, by their very chemistry, accept a massive charge with no degradation. We're not talking 20 minutes. We're talking 10% to 80% in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. The magic number. The time it takes for a bathroom break. And if this technology becomes widespread, it poses an existential threat to both of these billion-dollar models. Why would you swap a battery in 3 minutes if you can charge your own in 5? NEO's entire swap network rendered obsolete. And why would you wait 25 minutes at a Tesla Supercharger? Tesla's entire dominant network suddenly feels painfully slow. The future of the gas station isn't one-size-fits-all. We are entering a hybrid era. You will see solid-state charging dominate the consumer market. A 10-minute stop is the perfect convenience. But battery swapping? It will find its true, profitable home in the commercial world. For taxis, for delivery vans, for long-haul electric trucks, time isn't convenience. Time is revenue. A truck sitting for 30 minutes is a truck not making money. For those fleets, the 3-minute swap will always be the superior economic choice. The 3-minute myth, in the end, wasn't a failed idea. It was just a prophecy delivered to the wrong market. This is the kind of deep analysis we do every single week. If you learned something, like this video and be sure to subscribe to Dravexa. We'll see you in the next one.